Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at Section 4. So far, we have gone through, we posted to our accounts receivable ledger, we posted to our accounts payable ledger, and we posted to our general ledger. Now, the fourth part of this chapter is taking a look at our totals. Now, we started in Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 on adding from one journal to adding to having 5. The reason behind that is we get more information by using special journals than by having one journal and not having totals for all of these things that we want to keep track of. So when we take a look at, for example, my cash payments journal here, what we have to do at the end of every month is post our totals. Now, we have 2 ledgers. We have our general ledger, and then we have our subsidiary ledger. Our subsidiary ledger is divided into 2 parts, accounts receivable and accounts payable. So it has the names of our customers and it has the names of our vendors. When we post our totals, are we posting to our general ledger or our subsidiary ledger? It is our general. So always remember that. Totals will go to our general ledger. Posting individually from our journals will go either to our subsidiary or our general, depending on how we're being affected. So when we go through and look at our cash payments journal, I'm not going to post it right now, but I want you to notice at the bottom of all of our columns that we have a spot. We have to put our account numbers of what we are posting below here. But what do we do with general debit? Do we post this $11,671.38 anywhere? No, what do I do with it? What's that? No, it's already our total. What do I do with the $11,671.38? I don't need to post this number anymore. But if I don't do something below, it looks like what? That I forgot to do it. Do you remember what I do with those? I do a check mark. Now, don't do it yet because we have to do it in the right order. So there are some columns that we are not going to post the total number to, and we are just going to put a check mark. And we put a check mark and we put parentheses around it. And we put parentheses for our account numbers that go under our totals also, because if I didn't, for example, if I posted to the account cash, it would look like $1,100. We put parentheses to indicate that this is actually an account number. Now, way back when we started this chapter, I said it's really important that we post in the correct order, and then those assignments were really wonky, and they said make sure you're in chronological, and I said I hate that assignment. I still hate those assignments for that. The same thing is going to hold true for your totals. It's really important that you post from your journals in the correct order. Otherwise, you're going to have the wrong balance at the wrong time, and then Appley is going to say, marking it wrong. So moving forward, hopefully they're going to have us in the right assignments. As far as I can remember, that's what they have. So when we look at the directions have it listed in the correct spot, except we're missing one journal. What journal are we missing? No, purchases is the second one. General. Okay, the general journal is not listed there because why? We don't have any what? We have accounts in there, but we don't have any special columns that we would post the total for. Everything in our general journal gets posted individually. There are no totals that you would have to post anywhere. So let's start at the top of this and rock through these postings. Let's go ahead and open up our sales journal. So I want you to notice that they are not necessarily in the correct order that you have to open up for posting. So I'm going to go to my sales journal first, and then I'm going to start on the left-hand side and post to the right. So the first thing I'm going to find is my accounts receivable account. Accounts receivable is account number 1130. I'm going to put the date of the 31st. We always post our totals on the last day of the month. I'm going to do S10. S standing for sales journal, 10 saying page 10. And then I'm going to do accounts receivable as a debit of $7,377.60. I'm going to take that $7,000 plus the $1,284.73, and I got $8,662.33. Account number 110 goes back up top. Sorry, 1,130 to say that I posted it to accounts receivable. I'm going to do the same thing to sales tax, or excuse me, to sales credit. I was jumping a column. Date is the 31st. Still is S10. I'm going to credit sales $6,960. Previously had a credit balance, I'm going to add together. That is a big number, I agree. So, as of year to date, this business has had $240,000 worth of sales. That's good information for me to know. And then account number 4,110 goes back up on top. Then I'm going to go ahead and jump to sales tax payable. So I put my number into sales tax payable. Are you finding this is not hard, just the same thing, just a little bit different? All right. We should not have our answers on. We should be answering without our answers on. Agreed. Thank you, Trayton. After our sales journal, we do our purchases journal. Now, purchases journal is a little bit different. Okay? Now, we know when we journalize, we always have to make sure our debits and credits equal. Our purchases journal was our first special journal that we ever learned, and it was really easy because we only wrote the number once. Because purchases is being affected and accounts payable. When we look at this column heading here, there are two accounts in the heading. Accounts payable and purchases. So guess what? We have to post this $11,818.40 to both purchases as a debit and accounts payable as a credit. So make sure you post it twice. So I'm going to do purchases first because that's the one that's listed first, and it's my debit. So I'm going to do the day of the 31st. P10, standing for page 10 of the purchases journal. Purchases is going to be debited $11,818.40. Now, normally I would tell you to jump up here, parentheses, and put in 5110, right? But I have to put in two account numbers, and aptly it doesn't let me do one without the other. So I'm going to put in 5110, and then it automatically gives me 2110 for the accounts payable. I'll hit enter, and know that I'm going to jump right to accounts payable, and put that in as the 31st as well. So I have posted my accounts payable amount, except I have the wrong number here. Now, if we look at the accounts payable account, you see that we have another column here, or another row that we would have to post to. And if you posted the other journals first, Applia would be marking it wrong. So it is important that we post our journals in the correct order. After my purchases journal, I'm going to jump to my cash receipts journal. Starting on the left-hand side, moving across, there are no totals in my general debit and credit, so I don't need to put a check mark with parentheses. But I do need to start with my accounts receivable. So as of October 31st, I had in my cash receipts journal, page 12, accounts receivable credit of $6,360. That means I had customers pay this month $6,360 on an account. Take my previous balance and subtract. Account number goes back up top. Then I'll jump to sales. Thank you. Yes, please. Sales tax payable. After your cash receipts journal comes your cash payments journal. Yes, for the general debit and credit columns, you just put checks, which is a V with parentheses.